What is going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of You Don't Know Ball. We have week 14. Connor has a mouthful of his Starbucks, a little whipped cream on the lip.
Delicious.
He banged that and threw it off to the side. But this was a fun weekend. It was Judgment Day for fantasy football. You either made the playoffs or you didn't. And let me tell you, I did not have a great time with it. How about you guys?
Yeah. I have a funny story. I didn't even bring it up yet. But Connor, it came down to the wire. I was watching your matchup the whole week because I knew if you lost, it was going to be me in the playoffs. But if you won, you were going to take my spot because you won the tiebreaker.
No, I think you guys are both making it.
No, I think if my math's correct, because we have 6 teams that are making it. Is it right? The playoff bracket, if I'm understanding, was six. And because Nate's about to beat me, and he has tiebreaker. He's going to have the tiebreaker over me.
No. It's points. It's points.
I don't even. Oh, wait, I'm confused.
Whoever has the most points.
Out of but like Connor's still gonna have one more like less W than me though. Do you know what I mean? Like I did the math. No, I did the math. I'm about certain like because Connor's gonna no matter what, even because I'm gonna lose, but like he's gonna lose, so he's gonna have one less W than me. Nate's gonna have
you'll beat Nathan in the tiebreaker,
but Nate's gonna have more W's than Connor.
To be honest,
that's it. Like, I think I literally looked at this for like 30 minutes. Is
Connor gonna lose?
If I didn't,
Connor did.
We're doing the math live. The viewers are gonna find out.
So Connor will be 7-7. Nathan will be. He beat you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So he'll be 7-7 as well. Oh no, he'll be 8-6. Yeah, Connor, you're out of the playoffs.
I didn't think I was gonna be in it, to be honest, because I knew I was close, and then I realized I didn't have Justin this week, and my team looks so bad.
It was down to the wire for both both of my leagues that I'm in. It was down to the wire this week, and so that one, I didn't even know. I won. This one I knew I was like, close. Dude, I had like a 20% chance. Like at like 3:00 yesterday, I was like, I'm not winning. I was like, I need Connor to lose immediately.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure I did that. So
Connor, you say that, and it's kind of funny because no offense, your team doesn't look the best. You're like 3rd in points for.
I don't know. I have these great weeks when Mahomes and Justin Fields will combine for like 60, and then
Kelsey another 20. 30.
Yeah, right. But then I'll have weeks where I'm starting Gus Edwards and like Latavius Murray. Like it's not a good look for my team right now.
Well, we gotta give him a round of applause. It was honestly a very admirable effort. I think he started the year like 1-5, and he ended up turning it all the way around. I gotta give him credit where it's due.
I appreciate y'all. Yeah,
I thought they were gonna steal my playoff spot, but when I started the year like 5-1, it was like a whole different. We kind of like turned it around.
Hunter wants to say something so bad.
My team's on vacation next week.
Same.
Damn, that's fucking cool.
Me and him were tied like 3 weeks ago. Sickening downfall.
You guys want to hear something?
Clap it up.
Incredibly
making
infuriating.
the playoffs. Like cool, bro.
You guys want to hear something? I have like the 6th most points in the league, and I have by far the least points scored against me. And I'm gonna end the year 10-4 and get a bye in the playoffs. My team is not that good.
I'm saying on a record, I'm winning this league. I'm coming into the last
Hunter would like a word. I know Hunter's so confident.
We're gonna see what happens. Because here's the thing: whenever things go good and you start talking shit, it always happens.
Do you know how you combat that? You just have to compliment the other team.
Yep. You know, it's going to be a good matchup next week when they're chilling at home. But, you know, I'm in my CBS league. I'm in first place. I just got the other person who was 12-1 just lost this week. I'm up. So I'm trying to keep the vibes good and not kind of, screw myself.
No, you literally have to, because as soon as you start to talk shit and ride your high horse, you lose. It happens all the time.
The amount of reverse jinxing Dylan's been doing the last couple of weeks is unreal.
I do it all year. I do it all year. If anyone tries to talk crap to me, I just turn it around on them and I just like be like, bro, honestly, like you're the best ever. Like you have assembled the greatest fantasy team of all time, and like it would be an honor to lose to you.
It's infuriating, but I also cheese. Like I can't help myself by not cheese, but it's infuriating.
All right, the question. What has been your guys' favorite Christmas present of all time?
I think I might change my answer.
You gonna start or?
You can go ahead.
Mine's simple. Sorry for the low energy. Pretty tired today. I'll have energy in a second, though, I promise. Probably lightsabers. As
fire.
Growing up, I loved Star Wars. I still love them to this day. I don't care if you clown me. I'm admitting I love Star Wars to death. But yeah, it was awesome to get lightsabers in the different colors and run around the house with the lights off and just fighting with your brother. And the lights were cool. It was like you're Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Which one were you?
Anakin. I was obviously you're a villain.
No.
Such an asshole.
I had the purple one was my favorite. So Mace Windu.
Cool.
I love
Mace Windu was so
I thought it was the only
fire.
one that, bro.
Samuel
Nobody
Jackson.
ever was pulling up with
Samuel.
that.
Yeah, I had the purple. It was sweet. Yeah, it did
Color of
hurt.
royalty, baby.
It did hurt getting smacked by them for sure. Because I mean, that's what younger siblings and
You got to.
it hurts, but it's fun.
Me and my cousins used to low-key be like, bro, bruising each other in the face. That was like when we were like 6, 7, but that's a throwback memory. Speak of, I'm gonna bring a throwback from my favorite gift just because I just remembered it. Shouts to Uncle Craig, man. This was a gift from my Uncle Craig. I literally remember because it was a surprise.
Shout out Uncle
picture
Craig.
this. Picture this. I'm gonna give you a little. Well, I'll run it down quickly, but picture. So we just finished opening gifts from my grandma's, and it was like after all the gifts were done. You know what I mean? And he comes and he's like, "I got one more thing for you. It's a big." Like he was like, "I think you're gonna like it." And I was like probably like 7 at the time. I was young, so this was a big, huge throwback. This was like right when like. I was even older. I was probably like 5 or 6. It was like when the 360 had come out more recently. So I think this is like a huge throwback. Because I told him I just wanted an Xbox. He just got the 360. So this is the scene. So he had his old Xbox, like, you know, the original one. And he brought it with like, like 200 games in this huge box. He was like, all his old, he was just like, well, I got the new one, so you can have this one. And I was geeking, bro. The vintage Xbox,
I think
Halo 2.
That's cool.
Dude, I think I still have
Cody.
I don't know. I might have the console, but I have so many Xbox, like the original Xbox games.
You have to hold on
Classic.
to that stuff.
Yeah.
You literally have to.
It's at my like grandma's or something nowadays. I still have the consoles. I know for a fact it still is in possession somewhere though. Like
I still have a GameCube in my closet.
That's
What?
sick.
And I have
Why-
I have so many GameCube games.
Dude.
I
Why
have
don't we
literally
play it
boxes
ever?
filled.
Can you
I don't know if it works anymore.
Can
pawn
I
it off to
segue
me?
off that?
It's been so
Yeah, go for it.
So I have 2 different ones. And like, it's kind of a generic thing to say, I think, to get a game system, because I feel like a lot of kids get game systems for Christmas every year. But I just have a distinct memory of getting a GameCube, and then me and my brother immediately going and playing Star Fox and Super Smash. And bro, there is nothing better than waking up on Christmas morning, getting a new video game or system, and just playing it at
Gaming.
like
Hello.
8 a.m. There is nothing better.
I can
Parents all
vouch for that,
sick.
bro.
They're like, come on, we got to get ready to go.
No,
No,
that
we need a game.
You're right. That is actually a top 5 feeling.
It literally is. I'm not even kidding.
You're absolutely choosing. There's snow outside, and you have a new video game, and
Cheesy, think about
it's
it.
ready to roll, and you're having a great time.
I will say the other one I was gonna say is I used to be obsessed with Michael Vick, and he would be so much fun to watch and play with in Madden, honestly. And I got his jersey one Christmas, and I still have it. So,
Yeah, that's
Damn.
sick.
Jeez, what team was it?
Falcons.
I had one of those too.
Kind of got to be a hater
Really?
on this.
I have
I-
a really small one as well.
I burnt mine after
Dude.
the. Whoa.
Dude.
Okay, I was a kid after the whole situation
Yeah,
happened.
sure.
I threw
Yeah,
it in the
yeah,
fire.
yeah.
Okay, fair.
Everybody's like, "This guy's a
He felt
scumbag."
like trying it on social media. Connor was like, I got to get my YouTube
Yeah, I was
views.
like 12 years
Connor's,
old.
Connor,
Like,
12-year-old Connor's like, damn, I can't get canceled.
toss it in the flames. I distinctly remember that. I don't know. It's funny. You guys are getting me in the Christmas mood right now.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
That's true. That's a
Okay,
great
hold
point.
on.
That's,
That's
a great
so
point.
different.
Okay, but
We're not going to
anyways,
open up
yeah,
that can of worms,
Go
but that's
ahead.
different. I'm glad you whispered
Didn't even
it.
hear him. I know what he said.
No, I'm
He's
glad you
for
whispered
them.
it not into the mic.
That's disgusting.
He had a Browns.
Yeah.
He had a Chiefs one, a Toledo,
Toledo
one.
one.
I just 3,
That's
I guess.
3.
Yeah.
Well, it's a pretty cool collection.
It is a pretty cool collection.
I have to say my favorite Christmas gift, I think I've gotten some pretty cool ones, but the one that sticks out in my mind was I got this book, The Titan's Curse. It's the 3rd book of the Lightning Thief series. I didn't realize that it was all like a part of something, and I started off with the 3rd one, not knowing it was like this whole thing or whatnot, and like that's what sparked my love for reading was like that book. I remember just being bored either that day or the day after, binged the hell out of it. I'm like, damn, like okay, reading's kind of dope. And then I'm like, oh shit, this is a fucking series. Went to 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But I just remember that one being like, I was kind of sick at first because I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with a book? And then I kind of loved it.
I was not a big reader, but Percy Jackson, I read all of them.
Yep.
So fire,
Very good.
so fire.
I don't remember any of them, but I did the same thing.
Onto the
Yeah.
reading kind of thing. Like if you didn't read the Percy Jacksons, like the Diary of the Wimpy Kid,
Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Oh my God, there's just one that's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of now. Like then you weren't a child.
Yeah, it was a classic.
It's like those are all
classics.
classics. Like you have to.
I don't know if I read.
Oh, Magic School Bus. That wasn't the one I was thinking
Classic.
of.
Oh,
Y'all read
the
Captain
Treehouse.
Underpants?
Captain Underpants.
Magic,
yes,
Magic
bro.
Treehouse.
Magic
High
Treehouse.
Tea
Magic
Ghost.
Treehouse. Like,
That one was good.
like all these. Yeah, now we're into like Christmas and reading. Yeah,
Damn, that was super nostalgic, guys.
yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was cool. I liked
That
it.
was.
Can I kick us off with some football stuff then?
Of course. Obviously.
I can't wait for
Opening
this.
kickoff?
I can't wait for this.
That usually means
I know exactly what's coming now.
When he can't wait for it, that usually means that I'm going to be upset.
Well, no, I know what it is.
You want to get ready? You guys want to get ready down there?
It took me first.
Oh, this is great.
I know what game I need to pull up.
This is great. Oh, hold on. My mic's tweaking now.
He wrote down a bunch of notes.
So far, he unplugged himself.
All right.
Here's hella notes.
I think I'm good. I think.
Cheesing.
All right. This is.
Oh, God.
Last night was great. That was just great to see. And I might sound like a damn hater here. And I'm not going to lie. I kind of am. But what's the fun in not admitting something? You know what I'm saying? But let's get to it. The world saw Tua versus Herbert yesterday, huh? It's been the talk of the town, talk of the week, Manuel Acho, all this shit on Twitter, blah, 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 blah. Bullshit. If you didn't watch last night and just take away, like, Tua will never be close to him, ever. There's not one thing that you can say that Tua is better than Herbert at, or one thing you could say Tua is better than Joe Burrow at. And I think that's fair to say. I'm not sure if you guys disagree. You might be disagreeing. I don't know. I'm not sure, but there is not one thing that you can say that he is better at than those two. Let's just get that out of the way.
Didn't we know that prior?
I mean, I've seen people like make their arguments and their cases about it. Just that's been put to bed very quickly after 4 completions in the first half. You have to try really hard not to do that. That is bad shit. Garbage. Okay. Let's bring in Tyreek Hill for a little bit. Tua obviously doesn't elevate Tyreek. Tyreek elevates Tua. And that is just clear as day. It's the same, almost not the same offense last year, but he had Waddle as his weapon last year. Hill missed some time at the end of that game. It was kind of crunch time. The offense was kind of flat. Like Tyreek was 100% bum ankle, all this stuff. Now, if you look at, Herbert, oh man, he's been missing, his top guys. They've got 7 wins. I think that's just.
I don't think he's been missing his top guys.
I don't either.
He's had wide receiver one
He's had wide receiver one the entire year.
No, I'm talking this year specifically.
No,
this
you're right.
year.
Yeah, he's had wide receiver one the
Shut
entire year.
Shut the hell up. Before last night's game, Keenan Allen and Mike Williams played 46 snaps together all year. It is impressive that they have 7 wins, and that is the bottom of this line. I don't care what anyone says. They should not have 7 wins. They are one of the most injured teams in the league, and it's because of number 10, and there's nothing else to it. He is elevating guys. Like, tell me right now, does Tua make that throw to Keenan Allen on 3rd down in that tight window?
Tua doesn't make any
not
of the throws
a damn
that Justin
chance.
makes.
Not a damn chance in this world that happens. You won't ever see that. Or how about the one Herbert was rolling out right, threw across his body all the way to Mike Williams, 56 air yards. You can tell me right now that Tua is doing that? Hell no.
No chance.
Not a damn chance in hell. Never. Let's go back to Tua a little bit. You understand, right, that the Chargers were missing Derwin James and Bryce Callahan and almost everyone up front. I think they were missing 7 defensive starters. And that's what he did.
Those defensive
they played
replacements
well.
played really well.
They played well.
They played really well.
But you got 2 of the fastest guys in the NFL. You guys are the talk of the town. Oh, look at this flashy offense. 7 of your points came from a fumble that Tyreek housed.
Hey, that's just a football player making football plays.
No, that's disgusting. All right? That's just gross. And then I saw something earlier today that I thought was just hilarious. The Dolphins had heat warmers on the sideline last night. It was 55 degrees in that stadium that I heard.
God.
Oh man,
That's tough. I didn't see that.
But
They're used to that Miami Heat.
But this is where I'm going with this. Tua doesn't have a strong arm. Some say it's a noodle arm. And I'm one of them to say that. It's a damn noodle arm. How many times is he underthrowing Tyreek and Waddle? Look at the Bears game. There's a couple other ones that he's underthrowing. Oh, damn. Guess what? You got to go to Buffalo this Sunday. It's supposed to be snowing. It's supposed to be windy. Guess where you're going to have to go for the rest of your career if you're going to be making it in this league? You're going to have to go to Ohio to play the Bengals. Oh, it's pretty cold in the Midwest. You're going to have to go to KC, Arrowhead. It gets pretty cold out there. Come play playoff time. You got to go to Buffalo again. And you're going to probably have to keep going there and going there. He ain't built for that type of weather.
Spin zone. Buffalo has to come to the hot weather down in the South.
Oh, they did. They did, right?
They lost.
They lost. Wait. They lost. They were outsnapped, outgained by like 200 yards. They had nothing going their way that whole game. Not a damn thing going their way. They just got lucky. All right. That's just where I'm at right now. He's got all these guys to play against. All these guys going up and you got to go up to these special places. It ain't happening. Like we were talking about, you got to have the perfect coach, perfect situation, all this stuff a couple weeks ago. Yeah, he's got it. He's got the perfect stuff, but himself, he doesn't got it.
So is this whole thing that you've been on about Miami not being the upper echelon?
Yeah, no, I don't believe they're upper echelon at all.
Okay, so that's what you've been going with.
Yeah. I don't think Tua's good. I don't think they're that good. Like they don't fear me. Last night, they should have ran all over the Chargers. They have the worst run defense in the league. Not nothing really up front. How many completions did Tua finish with? 10.
I have a good spin zone.
I think. Can I add something real quick?
No, yeah.
Well, first of all, they were talking a lot about what the Chargers did, the Dolphins faced previously against the 49ers.
Oh, yeah, this is what I want to bring up.
That clearly worked pretty well against the Dolphins. So I think the Chargers schemed that game incredibly well. Even without having Derwin James and some of those guys, I think it was just a good scheme and it worked well against the Dolphins. And I'm not here to defend Tua because I'm pretty indifferent and I obviously think Justin Herbert's the better quarterback. But I do think ankle injuries, if it's on, was it on his lead foot, the ankle injury?
Who?
Tua.
He was hurt?
They mentioned a few times that he had an ankle injury.
Give me a fucking
break. Tyreek too.
Give me a break.
Tyreek too.
Mm-hmm.
That's some baby shit.
Well, anyways,
Tua hater.
I think the Chargers just schemed really well against them, and the Dolphins should have played a lot better, and they didn't.
I know people were talking about it today. Is my mic on? You can hear me?
Yeah.
No, I can hear
you. Okay. They took away the middle of the field. That's really what they did, and that's what like Tua or that's what Waddle and Hill are. Those in breaking cuts. So basically, you're saying like Tua can't really throw it outside the numbers.
Well, okay. Here's what I'm gonna, because I think I don't. You'll agree with part of this. This is what I think the main thing I'm gonna take away from last night was, because I agree with what you're saying about the facts of none of the long term stuff. I agree with all the short term stuff though. Like, yeah, he played like shit yesterday. He showed us that he has trouble with certain things yesterday. But here's the thing, and this is what it comes down to for me. Yesterday was just one game, and it was the first game where people started dropping their zones a little bit, 5-6 yards further consistently. Like you said, they're playing in the middle of the field a lot. And that's the thing is, I think that their game plan, they didn't. I don't think a lot of times this year they haven't, like a lot of these other route combination stuff, they're gonna have to start developing over time and stuff, like where they're gonna have to come up with a lot more like little nuances in their offense. Right now it's been working so well, they haven't really had to come up with a lot of different, like, you know what I mean, like nuances to the offense. Yesterday was a day where you say to yourself, Mike McDaniels can come and say to himself this week, the coach staff, they're gonna come up with new wrinkles and stuff. Like yesterday was kind of a game that makes you have to do that. But it was just one game. It was a terrible game. But like every quarterback has terrible games every once in a while. This isn't like this is new. The completion percentage is incredibly alarming. That's something you don't see that often. That's like borderline 33%.
It's happened 2 weeks in a row. I know the Niners have a great defense, but
the Niners are making
listen. 6 of his 22 passing touchdowns this year has come in one game against the Ravens. What do we?
But
I mean,
this guy. We could do that for a lot of quarterbacks. Yeah, we could pick like a 5 touchdown game.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like, there's nothing really alarming. Like I went over the schedule last week.
I think
you played dog shit teams.
Is it fair to say that Tua was playing incredibly well, maybe like the best he'll play in the NFL, like through that span, and that maybe we're seeing like, I don't think what he showed last night is who he is. I think he's definitely better than that, obviously. Like he's not going to do that week in and week out, put up 10 completion games and stuff. But I think that he has been elevated by both Mike McDaniel and Tyreek. And we kind of saw a little bit of a regression over the last 2 weeks. And then to your point too, Dobbs, I think absolutely they're going to have to come back and like scheme stuff. I think honestly, like we all like Mike McDaniel, but he got out coached last night. If they didn't have anything, if they couldn't adjust to what the defense was doing on the fly, and that's tough for a new coach anyways, because it's his first year as a head coach, he might not have been ready for that. And he's going to have to come back, I think.
But here's the thing. How do you scheme? Like they're kind of held back by Tua. And most of his abilities.
I feel like
what I'm telling you,
he was missing a lot of throws yesterday.
And what does he do that's elite, like that'll bring them to that level of like playing well? Anticipation? Oh, congrats! But guess what? What if your instinct's off? Oh, someone's gonna jump that. It's out of here. He's got really nothing in the pocket as far as mobility and, effectiveness with that, like extending plays. That's what Tyreek was eating on with Patrick. Patrick gets out of the pocket. Where's Tyreek? 60 yards downfield. Boom, touchdown. You're not seeing some of that. And then again, yesterday, I said there were 7 points scored off the fumble. And he was lucky that Michael Davis got sniped from someone up in the, top of the rafters. Because, he just walked into the touchdown, into the end zone. Like, and again, I think it's really alarming because that Chargers defense is pretty fucking bad. It was missing a lot of people yesterday. They're really bad. Like, what happens if Derwin's playing in that game? What happens if Joey Bosa's playing in the game? What if some of their interior guys are playing? Is it worse than this? Do they even have 17 points like last night? Like, it looked really bad. And I don't know. I just think I think people might have hit the button and I'm a little too early.
Well, this to that point, and then I'm going to shut up about this. But I think my thing is like, the Dolphins fans have kind of already crowned Tua as the franchise guy. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So if they take a route now where it's like Tua's not the guy, it just doesn't even feel like, I get what you're saying, but not everybody's going to be a Justin Herbert, Mahomes, Josh Allen arm. Like, I do agree with your point that they are different than him, but like if that's what it takes to win a Super Bowl, then every fucking franchise is screwed. I mean, I know you agree with what like I agree with what you're saying, but at the same point, it's like the Dolphins aren't just going to be able to grab a Herbert. Like, and any franchise that doesn't have the perfect quarterback, like, that's the thing is they have to win in other ways. And to Dylan's point, like, they just didn't play good last night. He got out coached, but it was only a 6-point loss. At the end of the day, like, I agree, Tua's not going to be the guy to like win them a championship all on his shoulders. But like, I think Tua's a piece that makes this team good, and they're a good team with him. It's just like yesterday was just a terrible night. It's like if this trend continues, then I agree. We need to reevaluate.
I don't think the score tells the whole story either.
Well, can I be honest?
Their touchdowns were kind of.
And maybe that'll go to your point too, but the Chargers should have won by a lot more than 6 points.
So much. They had a 4th and goal.
I just mean like in general, like it didn't seem like they were up by that much throughout the game, and they should have been.
They should have scored a lot more, and that's credit to. I know we want to talk about Jalen Phillips and a bunch of those guys over there, Christian Wilkins. Those guys were doing everything they could to stay in that game, and they're like, "Offense, do something." You guys have been doing it for most of the year. And then it comes up flat in one of the biggest times.
Well, I've said this forever. We've all said this. The thing that Tua needs to do to be when he's at his most elite is when he's on his Drew Brees game. It's 1, 2, 3 step drops, looking everywhere, and he knows where the ball is going to be. That's the thing is, if Tua's use Drew's my example. Like, I saw Drew for 15 years. He wasn't special necessarily at anything besides that his preparation was extremely well, and he knew where to put the ball. That's what Tua has to do. Like, Tua's not going to. He can hardly stay over the line. His arm's not great. That's the same thing with Drew, though. But that's the point. It's like he made it work by constantly knowing where the ball is going. If Tua can't do that, I agree. That's the problem. Is this isn't going to work. But I think more than anything, this is just one game. Like, I think he's going to be able to figure it out in big games. That's his role. Is just putting the ball there where it needs to be. I agree. Rough ass game, and we might need to reevaluate. But right now, I'm not ready to jump the gun like just yet.
You got to go play the Bills in Buffalo. It's supposed to snow. We'll see Saturday night because I don't think it's going to go pretty.
Can I say a couple things?
100%.
First off, I don't think I have to sit here and defend Tua. I've said what I know, what he is. He's a system quarterback. Everything needs to go right for them to be very good. And for the most part, it has. Sometimes it hasn't. Whatever. I don't really care. Dolphins are awesome to me. They're fun. They're fast. They're exciting. I'm going to root for them a lot. But the one takeaway I had from last night's game was on the other side of the ball. When you watch the Chargers offense, it is such a grind to move the ball. How many 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 6s did they have on every single drive? They had the ball for 10 minutes and they had to convert 6 of those. How many quarterbacks in the NFL convert 6 3rd and 5s in a single drive? Not many. Not many at all. And the thing that I notice about the Chargers offense is that Vince Lombardi is running the same system that he did in New Orleans.
Shout out Vince Lombardi.
Ah, damn it.
He sucks.
Oh, sorry.
This is like a running trend.
I had to call.
You're good. You're good. Because I was getting into my zone, but then you realized, because if I want to clip this, I want to say it right. Okay. So Joe Lombardi is running the same system that he did in New Orleans, same kind of thing as Sean Payton. It's a quick game. But the thing about Joe Lombardi's offense and why it doesn't work, why Sean Payton's did, is because Sean Payton was innovative. He made some trick plays. He took big shots. The Chargers, you have to freaking push them to take a big shot. You got Justin Herbert, man. take a shot on first down, take a shot on second down. Don't wait until your back's against the wall. Like Vince Lombardi is holding back Justin Herbert so much.
We brought Vince back
again. Damn it! Oh! God, just fucking hit the. God, all right. Joe Lombardi is.
We did Joe button.
Joe.
Joe Lombardi is holding back Justin Herbert so much, and he needs to be gone after this season. That's all I needed to say.
It has to be gone.
Can I actually talk about this?
Yeah.
I know we fight about Justin Herbert a lot, and I stand on my point. I still need to see more from him. I know he balls out all the time. I need to see. I know it's a team sport. He needs to win something though. It's just that comes with the territory.
Let him
Does
finish.
it not come with the territory?
It does. Okay, but people love Derek Carr, and he's been to the playoffs once.
Are you making the comparison between Justin Herbert and Derek Carr? I don't think that's what you want to do.
There's a lot of people that talk about QBs like this. Like, not a lot of them have playoff success. But Herbert last night just became the most, or the only player, or he had the most passing yards in his first 3 seasons.
I agree, but also
Andrew Luck, Peyton Manning. Those speak volume.
I agree. And I was just about to grip Justin, but
now you don't even want to.
You jumped I don't want to at
he's
all
anymore. He's a little sensitive about it. Come on, let him go.
Joe Lombardi is doing him a huge disservice because his average depth of target or average depth of throw or whatever is so incredibly low. And you have a guy that can convert long third downs. You kind of use that as a blessing because the amount of times I've seen Patrick Mahomes convert a 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 15 even. Like, it happens repetitively for the guys like Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. And you have to use that as an advantage, and you have to take shots on 1st and 2nd down, especially if you have a play for 4+ yards on 1st down. Take a shot. It's 3rd and 5. You know you're going to get it. So I think that Justin Herbert is being held back in large because of coaching. And yeah.
It also doesn't help when you talk about take shots, and then we can move on. But like, they don't have a run game right now, and that's essentially because the O-line is really beat up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Lindsley, and you throw everyone else out there. It's like, try and block.
Even then, though, like, there's teams that don't have to rely on the run games, and when you have
but that sets up,
no,
the
I
understand.
But when your quarterback's so freaking talented, you shouldn't have to rely
No,
on it.
I
And
agree.
That's a testament to the coaching and the play calls.
Also, one more thing on Tua too, not to get back into it, but I think in large we're seeing a similar thing happen to the Dolphins that happened with the Chiefs last year because of Tyreek Hill. You get used to just having that fast guy run all over the place. And then when the defense starts to drop back and just kind of like sit behind, and like, I think they were playing man underneath and had 2 high safeties, and like the low DBs really played underneath because they knew they couldn't let him get across the field. It's a huge adjustment. Patrick Mahomes struggled with it too.
Mm-hmm.
They were playing press man a lot last night.
Yeah.
They were up at the line a lot.
Yeah.
And
they're playing inside leverage too.
Inside, and just make, what does that speak to? Make 2, throw it.
I'm ready for some questions.
Yeah, questions.
All right.
Man, that felt good.
We'll move into some questions.
That felt fucking great.
I'm good. I'm happy for you.
Oh, I fucking love that guy.
Fuck off.
I fucking love that guy.
Okay, let me hold on. I gotta pick one. Hold up. Because there's a lot of, I got a lot from Connor, and I got one from Tyler. And then Dob sent me some as well. So okay. The Ravens are sitting at 9-4. Why do they feel like a 500 team?
This is a gas question.
That's a good one. Yeah. Does anybody want to take this one first?
I feel like I can just I'll take it first. Because I'm going to be wrong about this. I'm going to preface this with, I already know that I'm wrong. You guys will give me a good example right when I'm done. But you guys know sometimes I have short-term memory, so I'll appreciate the little reminder here. So remind me of a team that has played absolutely fucking abysmal every single time they win a game and still has 9 wins at this point of the season. Like, they're the one team that, like, every loss is atrocious. They almost win. Every loss is atrocious. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's always they are close. There's no in between. You know, it's just coming down to the wire. Even when they are up like for 2 touchdowns with 3 minutes left. They don't, like, I've never seen a team that finds a way on some pure Falcons ball shit to just constantly literally like give the other team a chance. When they don't fold, it's the same thing. When they do fold, it's the same thing.
Well,
what the fuck is, like,
It's like their calling card. I feel like every announcer says it whenever they have a 14-point lead. It's brought up, and then 2 seconds later, the game's closer than it should be.
And if they didn't have Justin Tucker, they would have like 4 wins. Can I please bring that up too? Most valuable player in the fucking league is the kicker for the Ravens. Like, I mean,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, there's some sort of truth there because you get over the 50, and you got to get 50 more yards, and then it's almost like an automatic 3.
Imagine with an average kicker who's making like 75% of his kicks.
Like, no, that is true, but I just want to touch up a little bit. Like, their offense doesn't move me. It doesn't move me. Like, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I don't know. Like, I'm not really scared. Like, yeah, like Lamar's great and all. Yes, of course, but he can't like do everything. It's not helping that Mark Andrews has fallen off a cliff. It doesn't help. Where has that guy gone? I'm not really sure. And then again, I think we've been preaching it since literally August, that they don't have receivers, and that's just going to continue to be the storyline for them when it gets down to a big game.
Well, and I just thought of this. You can't name an explosive receiver, and you can't name an explosive D lineman on the team. When is ever a good team that there's like that? Where you're like, yeah, they just have a kind of a semi-productive team with like good secondary. That's the Ravens. So like, yeah, we got a good secondary, and our quarterback's really good at like making things work with this terrible receiving core we have, and the O-line is subpar. Like, it's like what they're like the most underwhelming good team.
Isn't it funny also that all of their losses they were up by a lot too?
Like, I think they're addicted to like letting up leads. Like
they were like killing the Dolphins. Who else am I missing?
They were beating the Bengals, I think, by 2 scores on Sunday night. And then that became really close.
The Bills won, right? Did they beat the Bills?
No, they lost to the Bills. They were up on the Bills. Yeah. I think, right?
Yeah, I think it was like 20 to.
That was another one. The Giants won.
Yeah. Oh the my Browns God, won. The Giants. The Giants one is really bad. The Giants one is really bad.
That's all of their losses. They were up by a lot.
The Jaguars won,
and they only beat the Panthers. They should have lost to
the Broncos.
Like, there's a common theme.
Almost choked yesterday.
Like, I think it's a first round exit.
When they just pull out some BS again.
That's what's talking about the playoffs, is that we're objectively right about them right now, but they could go on around the playoffs and make us eat shit. And it's just a reality situation.
I'm sorry. I don't think there's a shot in the dark that they can do that. I don't think so.
I don't think so, but I think they could easily just like win a game.
I agree with that.
You got to maybe draw the Titans that you've beaten before in the playoffs. Like, I don't know who they can. Will they end up maybe seeing the Bengals if they're a wild, like if they flip wild card, or
that's probably a good chance because they'll be like 4-5. So
they could run into the Patriots or the Chargers or the Jets. I'll take them over the Patriots. Maybe the Jets. I don't know. That's a good defense. I don't know. I don't see much happening with them.
As the Ravens, I don't want to put this. The Ravens as a whole and as a team have a very good bone structure. They're just a few pieces away from really being that good team. And what do they want? 9 games this year? I think that's fairly impressive for what they've had so far this year. They're really weak at receiver. The offensive line has been not so much continuity. Ronnie Stanley's coming back a little bit. Defense hasn't been great. You finally got Roquan. It's just like they're kind of piecing this together to see what they're going to do this offseason. Like, this is a total see what you have, make a couple moves this offseason. Next year, I think, is going to be the really big push.
But hasn't it been like that for the past couple of years now, though?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I'd say
they're a lot worse this year than previous years.
I think sometimes that,
in terms of
that
roster
happens.
Too.
Sometimes that happens in the league where you have to take a step back to take a step forward. And,
for sure.
You know, the Ravens are smart. So I believe in them. But there is something that I saw on Twitter today that I'm very interested to see your guys' opinion for. So head coaches who have added the most win probability added above expectation on 4th downs, 2-point attempts, timeouts, and delay of game avoidance. The top 4 are Nick Sirianni, Dan Campbell, Sean McDermott, and John Harbaugh. So essentially what that statistic means is pretty much through the coach's control, through the head coach's control, what decisions are you making that put your team in a better spot to win. John Harbaugh, despite giving up these big games and despite not having, the season that they wanted, is still a good head coach. And there's people that question him all the time on the media. And I'm like, there's only so much he can do. He's not the defensive coordinator. He's not the offensive coordinator. He is the head coach. He makes the big decisions. And for the most part, I still think he's probably one of the best head coaches in the league right now. And it makes me sick to see people think otherwise.
I mean, great point. It's not Harbaugh's fault. Like, he's doing his job and he's been doing it for a while. And this just brings up his brother. I hate his brother. But man, there's some damn good coaches. They know football. They know how to win games. They literally have the same identity, just in 2 different levels of football.
That must have been tough for you.
It is.
I'm honestly astonished.
Michigan, what is their identity? They run the football, play good defense. They're mean. Ravens, run the ball, play good defense. They're usually mean. Mm-hmm. They're just good football coaches.
I want to just thank you for saying that, because I was going to bring up that it's very odd for a John Harbaugh team to give up big leads and kind of just like crumble like that, because I've always thought he's a good head coach. We've talked about it a lot, Connor. So I think that definitely puts some context to the situation.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. And I want to use this to pivot to one point. And it's not great to sit out super long or anything, but I agree with this completely. For every Ravens fan that thinks John Harbaugh should be on the hot seat, they need to take a look in the fucking mirror. Go and look at who their GM is. They need to go to Eric DeCosta's office and go talk to him. Because John Harbaugh is not, like, everything that's effed the team up it's not John Harbaugh's decisions. It's not, like you're saying, John Harbaugh's working with what he gets every single year. And he usually fully exceeds expectations. I don't know what else he's supposed to do. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, not to compare it to Saints again, but it was like the era went through a shitty era with Sean Payton. There's a lot of Saints fans like, no, and the real ones knew, like, no, that guy's not the issue. He's not putting together the team. Like, he only can work with so much. That's the reality of the situation. You only can work with what you have. Don't make the mistake of wanting your good coach can because your dumbass GM can't put anything together. You bring the next coach in. Why is this not working for a decade over and the dumb GM just keeps getting chances? That's the last situation you want to be in.
All right, well, we can stay on the Saints. The Saints look like they need to go into a rebuild mode. Do they trade Olave for capital?
No. For how much we just trade up for him?
No, sir.
That would be like trading away a first round pick for nothing at that point. But
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, I was going to say absolutely, positively.
Did you submit this question, Connor?
No.
I mean, absolutely not.
I think there's a case to be made.
I mean, I'm sure you can make a case, but it's not every day you find a. I mean, look, he just stepped in and was like, "Oh, I'm going to do great things."
Here's the question: even if he's doing great things and their roster's on the downfall, what is that going to do?
No, you're right. You're right. It's not. But if you're going to trade away a piece, that's just taking pieces away from what you got.
Yeah, but you need youth. You need youth for a roster that's probably the oldest in the league and does not have any future.
He's like 22.
No, I understand that. But when he's 25 and the rest of the roster is horrible, what does that do for him? What does that do for the team?
Yeah, you're right.
So if you trade him and you get a first and then maybe like a third or a fourth, there are teams out there that will give you a package like that. Shit, we just talked about him. The Ravens will give you a first round pick and a third round pick for Chris Olave. And you can at least start to have a chance at a future. And that's all that draft picks are. They're a chance. So because you have a good player doesn't mean you should flip, does not mean you can't flip them for a future, because that's what you need to do.
I think if they're like committed to being like a hard rebuild, then like maybe they would consider it. But like you said too, it's like, it's not for certain. Like they get a first and a fourth, like who's to say that either of those guys are a solid player? And I just think when you get a guy like Olave, like Bears fans know this, they would love to have a guy like Olave. And you never know how fast like a rebuild could go in your favor too, if that makes sense.
That's a good point.
But no, that's an interesting situation.
I was just looking more into like the GM's perspective or whoever made that trade to trade up. Like, well, one, you traded away your first round pick for this year, which would be top 5. Sorry. But
yeah, no, that was an atrocious moment.
So then like, yeah, you got Olave, but then you trade him away. And then what if those picks work? Those picks don't work out. The GM's gone. And it's like, now you're just missing. And now you're just messing it up more and more and more and more. And I don't know where you would go from there. But like, I mean, he is probably a cornerstone right now.
Well, here's the reality. But here's the thing I'm going to say, because I always have to remind everyone of this. And like, because I agree. If I wasn't a Saints fan, I would agree. Like, objectively right now, yes, I like the Saints are a bad team. But here's the thing. I don't think the Saints are it's the roster that's the issue. Like we went from being almost a playoff team if the Niners lost that game against the Rams last year, the Saints would have been the last wild card slot. And that was what Trevor Siemian is our quarterback like 7 weeks. This thing is the issue is not really the roster. The issue is genuinely like the complete like shift in culture we had and the fact that just Dennis Allen's not the guy. Like we had the guy with our way worse roster last year. We have a way better roster this year, and Dennis Allen's not the guy, and we suck. We added a bunch of big name guys this offseason. Like, I don't think the issue is necessarily like the roster. We have Andy Dalton playing the best season of his career in the Saints uniform, and it's like the team still sucks. We still choke games, but the reality is like the O-line is good. I think we have a lot of productive players on defense. A lot of productive young guys. Like I don't think really, I genuinely stand out. Like I don't think the issue is the roster at all. Like I don't really point at anyone on the roster and be like, they're a total reason we're losing. It's really every single week. It's like, wow, that coaching staff is a fucking shit show. Pete Carmichael has no clue what he's doing. Dennis Allen has no clue what he's doing. And I've never once this year like pointed at the roster and been like, we're not winning because we're missing this. Like it's not like that. It's like, no, we're not winning because we take our foot off the gas. We're not winning because we don't have a productive game plan. That's from my perspective. Like for someone to watch the Saints so productive for all these years, it's not that the roster started sucking. It's that we stopped doing what worked. And it is just completely like it's like a whole new identity that, and this isn't going to last. Like, I don't want to just can the roster because Dennis Allen's an idiot. Like, you know, like that, and that I'll stand on that. Like we were a great team for a while and shit hasn't really even changed. Like
that was also your point with the Ravens too.
Wait, what?
I guess no, actually the opposite. Well, never mind.
Wait, I'm confused.
No, never mind.
I have a question for you though. So even if you were winning games, do you think Andy Dalton can win you a Super Bowl?
No, that's the point though.
Because
like
if you don't have...
The point is the Providence is the most important position on the team. It's just not like...
You don't have it.
We're not serious right now. It's like the Saints aren't a good team, but it's because like they're just not built to be serious right now.
What's the point of middling out?
No, but that's the thing is if and when we replace Andy Dalton, which I think is like it's viable, and that's the thing is it's a Dennis Allen issue right now. Nothing will feel right while this clown is still running the team. Like we could go fucking Aaron Rodgers in the offseason or like something ridiculous, and shit will still be atrocious.
That's what I'm saying. So like you're middling out, your roster's getting older, and you don't have great head coach. Like what is the point of just continuing on the trajectory instead of maybe blowing it up? Maybe you find the chance of having a quarterback that could be elite. Like the chance of having that guy, I think, is worth the risk of blowing up the whole team. Because once you find that guy, then you can start to build around. Because if you don't have that guy, you're not winning a Super Bowl. So like, even if the team was amazing, as the Saints teams have been, you still got freaking Andy Dalton and Jameis Winston, and they're not going to win you a bowl. So like, it's just like...
So I battle with this question a lot because I'm a strong believer that like, if you don't have a top 5 quarterback, like I've read you guys the Super Bowl winners. I mean, the few exceptions are Joe Flacco, Nick Foles, and maybe another guy. Like complete goobers that...
Shout out Trent Dilfer.
Snuck into the Super Bowl and won it. You know what I mean? Other than that, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Big Ben, Mahomes, like you name it. They're all like elite level quarterbacks, like top 5 every year guys. Drew Brees. Like, and it's just like... It's tough because you do need to get that guy, but at the same time, it's like you still have to put a product on the field every year. And like, to your point too, it's like the same thing with Tua. It's like, I think you even asked like if Tua is like capable of winning a Super Bowl, and maybe, but like probably not. So like
highly likely
the Dolphins have to like still go out and, you know what I mean? I don't know. I don't even know what the answer is. I battle with this question constantly.
I have the answer. You give Sean Payton 10 years, 150 million, whatever the fuck he wants, and Zach Wilson is a Saint. Sorry,
I'm cheating. No, this was the last
At least
thing I'll say.
Why
would you say that?
I don't want to like drag on the subject
because Sean Payton's a guru.
But well, hear me out. I'm glad he said this because it was the last thing I wanted to say. I'm going to pivot to the last thing. Well, because here's the reality situation. As a Saints fan, I saw us bring in Drew Brees having a mediocre. Like he came in mediocre. What did we give him that no one else gave him? Great O-line. Productive receiving core, smart head coach. And he looked like a fucking Hall of Famer the rest of his career. Go figure. I think this is my point, is that you can have the greatest QB in the world and all these things. The situation sucks. It doesn't matter. Like we see all these great teams, these great quarterbacks, like Chargers. They're not winning fucking Super Bowl because it doesn't matter. You have to have a good, continuity filled roster. And I agree with both of you guys. Like it's like that issue is that I know what the Saints need to do. We can have the greatest. But what they need to do is the first thing is that I'm not going to feel happy about anything until we have a head coach, because we had a head coach for so long. I know that's the secret. The real secret is having a good, smart head coach. Your quarterback can only do so much without him. right? If Mahomes was on the Jaguars, that's not a good example.
Winning
They have to, but you get my point.
No, but it's like any team. It's any team. If Mahomes was literally on, I don't even know, 3/4, maybe even a higher percentage of the teams in the NFL, he's not who he is today. He's not winning Super Bowls. He's not winning an MVP at age 23. Mahomes had
Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert and Andy Reid. I mean, it's a very real point. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Who's winning the games? The game is about who's
the situation
coaching.
Is literally everything.
Like players and coaches are like 50-50. I stand on that huge because it's a huge. Player can only do so much.
No, I'm going to go ahead and say it's more towards the coaching because like you could have, like you said, like Mahomes, like we've seen his ceiling. He's borderline one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game thus far in his career. And literally, if he did not have Andy Reid or a good coach, he wouldn't be anything. Like coaching is the vehicle that gets these players to be the very best that they can be. And without that, they are essentially nothing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Put Herbert in Miami.
And I'm going to give a random example real quick.
You'll see.
If Kyler Murray gets an elite coach, watch the difference of how much we talk about him the next like 3-4 years. Just watch the growth exponent. Like, this is my most recent example. We knew Cliff Kingsbury was a fraud from day one. He's proven he's a fucking fraud. Get that man a real coach. We'll see what happens.
Derrick Henry is responsible for 28% of the team's offense for the last 5 years, including this year. What do the Titans look like post King?
Bad. Really bad.
Well, they just fired the GM. We should really talk about that real quick. You saw they fired their GM mid-season after all these good years he's brought him. But I also understand too. They said the Robert Woods thing played a huge part in it. It wasn't the AJ Brown thing. It was just the way the contracts and the team
they don't really have that great of a roster, if we're being real.
They are capping. Whoever is out there saying that he didn't get fired because of the AJ Brown trade, that is full cap. It has to be. Is it a coincidence that he got canned after AJ Brown literally just took a poop on them?
I think that's just final straw. I think there's like 99 other things.
I know there's other things that go into it, but like that was like that. I think that played a lot of the big factor because who gets rid of him?
I think it would have happened after the season regardless. That was just the final straw of like fuck it. But it was weird to do that when you're in the playoffs.
To answer Hunter's question, Titans life post Derrick Henry essentially means for the team an entire offensive identity rebuild, reformat, delete, throw it in the trash, and start from fucking scratch, okay? Because you got Malik Willis, so you have a Swiss Army knife kind of quarterback, and you can tailor your offense in a lot of different ways. But what they've been doing right now with Derrick Henry, when the Titans have a scripted first drive, they're 4th in the league in EPA. After the first drive, or the first quarter, they are 32nd in offensive EPA. Because what do they do in the first drive? They give Derrick Henry the rock 12 times, and he probably takes it to the end zone. After that, scrambles. No idea what to do. So they got to blow it up.
They're missing Art. That's for damn sure.
They're missing. You're actually right, because he's a king. He is a king.
I agree. Yeah, they could be missing Art. But you gotta look at the problem. It's Tannehill.
How is Tannehill the problem?
He doesn't move anyone.
Right,
he doesn't move you to do anything.
I don't think he's a problem.
I know, I understand, but like Tannehill, like we've just said, he just said, Tannehill won a Super Bowl. Tannehill's limited.
He's been in a lot of playoff games. Okay, at this point in his career,
be honest, he's exceeded all expectations in Tennessee.
Wait, why has he been in all these playoff games?
Probably because of Derrick Henry.
He played
good. But he's not a good receiving core away from winning that AFC chip. They had no one, and they were beating him at halftime. Like, I'm not like, I just want to take it away from him because I think he's one of those guys where he's had to work with. He's a player that's had to work with not having a lot. Him and Vrabel have had to do the heavy lifting, and Derrick Henry. That's like the trio. And I'll give him more credit. I think he's one of those guys that deserves more credit than he gets.
Tannehill is the most average dude you'll find
at this point in his career.
Even last year, even the years before, average.
Yeah.
I can't deny that he's exceeded all expectations in Tennessee.
Come on.
Yeah.
100%. I don't think anyone can disagree with that.
How much is that on Derrick Henry? Like, what is his most touchdown passes in the season?
Helps a ton.
Like 24, 23. I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but like he is not moving the needle. He doesn't move the needle for you.
2020, he threw 33 touchdowns and 7 picks.
Okay. Wow. Fucking shut me
Damn.
up. Respect.
It's an elite year.
That's a good year.
That's it. I respect that.
I'm just saying,
But-
and I think maybe that's the year that like I'm drawing on when I say that he exceeded all expectations. But like, he's been better than anyone would have ever expected.
What
This
is
was
it?
Geno of that time.
I'm sorry. I need to say one last thing. When he signed with the Titans, I think everyone was just like, all right, cool.
I thought, what the fuck? I'm
Nice.
like, what
Good for
does this do?
Tannehill.
Yeah.
Good, great for Tennessee. Don't know what they're going to try to do. And they've done well.
No, but here's the thing: like, you look at the playoff game against the Ravens. That was Derrick Henry's show from the start to the beginning. He threw Earl Thomas like he was a child, and that's been one of the biggest memes ever since. That's Derrick Henry. They didn't have Derrick Henry in the playoff game last year. How many picks did Tannehill throw?
I don't know.
2, 3, I think,
Something like
game
that.
ceiling. Like, you need the guy to like Dylan's been saying, you need the guy to get you over. Yeah, I know, like, missing Henry's a lot, but like, you still had AJ Brown, and they were in that game for a good chunk of that. Sometimes you got to look at the QB, and that 2020 fluke ass season, he was playing with no fans in the stands. Look out of here.
Did he benefit off the COVID year?
What did he do after
Are you
that?
calling his season a Mickey Mouse
Yeah,
season?
He actually
Mickey Mouse.
the next year it was all right. He did, I think, 22-6.
He's only getting older.
He's a Mickey
So
Mouse.
I'm sure that was probably his best
Sorry,
season.
21-14.
14 picks?
That's not good.
Average. Average is hell. Average is hell. Stop.
He had one elite season.
All right, to sum up the answer
Mickey
here,
Mouse.
I want to actually say that they're fucked, but they also have Mike Vrabel. So like, I can't even like really root for them to be bad.
He'll be the next guy that fans are like, get this guy out of here. When they're like 5 wins, you'll be like, you know what? I'll take him. Please fire him. Actually,
Yeah, actually,
Like-
yeah.
Mhm.
Actually, fuck it. Fire all these good coaches. Actually, no, you guys are right. Fire them. Just get rid of them. It's totally John Harbaugh's fault.
I agree. Vrabel sucks and he should be gone and into the city of Chicago.
Yes, exactly.
All right, we're gonna ride this one just because it did so great last week. Why do the Lions have to take a quarterback with the Rams pick this year?
Why do they?
The
What
floor
if
is
I'm
yours,
actually
Connor.
against this? I'll see what this Connor's floor.
Okay, I guess I looked at some of the comments of what people are saying, and you have to build around Jared Goff. To me, the reason why the Lions have to draft a quarterback at 4 is because even if they get 2 stud defensive players and the roster looks even better than it did the year before, the fact of the matter is the teams you have to beat to get there are the Eagles, and the teams you have to beat to win the Super Bowl are the Chiefs, Bengals, Dolphins, the Bills. And you're not beating any of those teams with Jared Goff. If you want to win a Super Bowl, if you're the Lions and you really want to win a Super Bowl, you have to look at the quarterback position and be like, hey, can my guy go toe-to-toe with Josh Allen, with Patrick Mahomes, with any of those guys? And the answer is no, even when Goff has been playing really well this year. But if you draft a quarterback, you have a chance. You have a chance at getting an elite guy. Bryce Young, we don't know. CJ Stroud, we don't know. But there's a chance that he could be an elite guy and evade the pocket, make these crazy throws, and be in a Lions uniform. I am astounded that the Lions fans don't want a quarterback like that. Get a cool quarterback.
All right. I agree with what you're saying wholeheartedly. I do. How different would Jared Goff's career be if he did win that Super Bowl against Tom Brady and the Patriots? He didn't have Cooper
He'd
Kupp
still
in
be
that
a Ram.
He didn't have a Cooper Kupp in that game. He was out that year.
He'd still be a Ram, and
And what?
he probably would have had a couple bad seasons. He probably would have had a fluke bad season. That just happens. That just happens.
Like
he
Stafford
does-
had
Like
this year?
like Stafford. Exactly.
Stafford has like a broken neck.
Okay, but there's a
What are we
chance.
talking about?
He wasn't playing well though.
Yeah, he was hurt.
There's always a chance that
He
you
was hurt
don't.
last year
you
and he was
can't-
throwing dimes.
You can't replicate
It
that.
wasn't
good.
his arm. I didn't think
No,
it-
his elbow was fucked last year.
like towards the end of the year. Yeah.
But you still know it's Jared Goff.
No, yeah, I understand, but like it's just different thing to look at. He's not horrible.
He's
Like,
not. No,
like,
I'm not saying that.
he's not.
I'm not
he's
saying that.
bad.
But you can have one of those. You can have the good one.
But
You
I-
can have a good
every-
one.
I am chomping at the
Every
bit.
co-
And I will say I hate this thought
I already know.
that Stroud could be
CJ Stroud
in
goes to Detroit.
Detroit. Jamison Williams, Amon Ra, and DJ. And like, now, obviously, it won't be DJ Chark for long, but like,
That's nice.
and that O line is pretty
That's
young.
nice.
Random, but I feel like it's actually not even random because I kind of need to insert right here. I have been reading, hearing a lot of different scouting perspectives. The CJ Stroud, he might be like dropping just like not like far.
I think he is
good out of the top 10. Like where it'd be
him.
like 10 to 15 range. Just because there's so many like game changing defenders in this class that a lot of them are probably gonna go before him because he's kind of like like a 50-50 kind of guy. Like there's a lot of things that are good. And
I hope he does drop to a team that is functioning because that's what he would need. And would be the best for him in his career. If he goes to like a 16, can't think off the top of my head. Like just, you know what I'm saying? Like he could fall to the right situation and boom. So that'd be cool with me.
Well, to me, it's like even if CJ Stroud falls and he's not that guy, even if Will Levis isn't hyped up to be any of these guys, quarterback scouting is not a science. It's not a proven science. Nobody knows. Zach Wilson, not proven science. There's always busts. There's Jalen Hurts kind of guys
Chris
in the second
Sims
round.
Capped so hard on Zach Wilson.
Exactly. Nobody knows.
He was convinced that he was the second coming of Jesus.
But the thing is, it's the chance. It's the chance. Take a chance. Draft 2 quarterbacks in the same draft. I don't give a shit. One of them's going to be fucking good. Like,
or at least
new
decent.
philosophy.
Take one with the
Kirk
fourth
Cousins,
pick.
RG3.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Take one with the 4th pick, then take one in a couple rounds later. You might have Mac Jones and Billy Zappi, but hey, you know.
Did you say Billy?
Bailey Zappi.
Billy Zapp.
Yeah, I can't say
Billy
names.
Zapp
I can't
is
say
wrong.
Shout out Billy Zapp.
I don't even know if you said it. Just kind of
I
sounded
think
like
I
to me.
did. I did.
Also, I want to just say that there's a lot of parallels coming around where we keep touching back on the point where, like, what do you do if you don't have the guy? Like, do you continue to like try or whatever?
You find Doug Peterson.
Do you stick with Jared Goff or do you go for the next guy? I'm torn, Connor, because I agree with the point you said last week where they're in a great position to draft that high. They should probably take advantage of it and actually get a quarterback because it's like one of your only chances to get that position, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you hit on like a Drew Brees in the second round or something, which is very hard to do.
Right.
But also, I'm really not a fan of this quarterback class at all, really. So I'm kind of torn.
Your tone kind of changed with Levis.
Bring everything together, though.
Your tone changed with Levis.
I do like Levis because, hear me out, he has a quick release, and the Kentucky offense has been dog shit this year. He throws the ball like 12 times a game sometimes. Like, what are they doing?
He's got a cannon.
And it's all off play action and stuff. I'm just saying, quarterback release time, if you look at the top 5, it's all of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I think it's a very underrated quarterback attribute. And he has a very quick release, so I think he could find some success in the NFL.
That was a very astute
he runs the
observation.
NFL offenses, which that's something that a lot of people talk about. He actually has like the NFL.
Except it's a dog shit one.
I'm
sick of watching him throw.
But you couldn't bring a not dog shit one to college.
No.
They run it twice on first and second down.
That's how he was last year.
He does a play action pass.
That's what they
and
were
the
last
guys
year.
fucking swarm.
That's what they were last year.
They've been doing it for 2 years now. No, they've been doing it for 2 years.
I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's what they were last year. And
I agree. My point is that I like his attributes.
Can I say something?
He's got good qualities, but he needs to work on his feet a lot.
Can I talk to you, Tyler? Because I so remember a couple drafts ago, there was a quarterback.
I have no idea where this is going.
There was a quarterback that was tall, had a big arm, and had an underwhelming senior season at Oregon, and teams, kind of threw some shade at him.
Do you know who the other guy was?
The other guy.
At Wyoming, too.
At Wyoming. Big, tall,
I love
arm.
both of those guys.
You like both of those guys. And I'm surprised you don't like this
Will
Kentucky
Levis.
quarterback that's got an arm, that can evade the pocket, that's athletic, and that makes great throws. I'm surprised you don't like him because they're the same quarterback.
I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why?
No, I don't want to hear it, actually.
Okay, so then why the fuck did you speak?
All right, I'm kidding. Come on. Give it to me.
I don't like his feet.
Give it to me.
That is very, very big.
That can be changed.
Yeah, it can be.
He's probably the easiest
I
part
don't
to
like
change
his
of a
feet.
quarterback.
I don't like what's in between his ears. He makes some horrible decisions sometimes. I mean, really bad.
Coaching
Will
Those
help.
were Josh Allen's 2 main things.
People loved Stoops last year when they went 10-4. He was. I'm telling you, it was the same team as last year, except minus Wan'Dale Robinson.
Yeah.
That's it.
But your criticisms are the exact same things that Herbert and Josh Allen were criticized.
They were like the
for.
only 2 things they were like. They were literally like the
Exactly
2
my
main
point.
things. He doesn't stand straight in the pocket, and they throw off platform a lot, and they don't make good decisions. That's like their main thing.
It's not off platform. No, it's
off
like,
platform in the pocket where you're always just
it's
you're
just
not standing right.
It looks like he's nervous in there. There's a reason why didn't he beat out Sean Clifford?
Bro, I don't know. I'm not in that locker room.
I'm just saying, why did he not start at Penn State, who's obviously a way better college than Kentucky will ever be? Why couldn't you just stay there and stick it out?
Just clip that.
Hey, why did Joe Burrow not stay there and clip Why Joe Burrow stay?
That's what I'm saying, man. Because Dwayne Haskins had like a 55-yard touchdown season, and JT Barrett was one of the best.
Sometimes things just don't work out. I don't think that's a fair criticism.
I don't remember which.
He couldn't beat out Sean Clifford.
Sometimes things don't work out.
Sometimes.
Why couldn't Josh Allen go to better school?
That's before. That's before handling things.
I don't think the timeline matters.
I have something. I'm gift wrapping as a present for
That's
Tyler.
how he was drafted.
You're gonna be cheesing. I have the proof that we're all just capping each other right now. Because you said it yourself, you're right. No, you literally said it. I'm proving it all right now. You said if CJ Stroud doesn't go to the right team, he's not going to be him. This is the same. So like with any of these guys, like Josh Allen. If Josh Allen didn't suck in college, he would have been in the right situation. Like I'm big on the thing. Like everything happens for a reason. And if, like you said, if you don't go to the right spot, and you don't deserve the right spot, like it's not going to work out. So it's like if you don't get in the right spot, like CJ Stroud goes to the wrong team, his career's totally different than if he goes to the right team this year, right? It's the same thing with any of these guys. Like with Zach Wilson, with any of the guys that work out, it's getting to the right coach, to the right people believe in you, to put the right thing around you that you do good. Because everybody has a different thing they do good as a player at every position, right? Like so, it's like I agree that with like what I was saying that you need the quarterback, you need the guy, but at the same time as you need the quarterback, you need the guy. He can't be the guy in the quarterback if the situation is not for him. Which is why I think a lot of teams fuck up. They take the guy, but they don't give him his skill set. They expect him to completely... Like, if you draft a guy, you should be building around his skill set. That's what a lot of teams don't do, especially at quarterback.
That's a crazy concept because that's really hard.
It's literally the only concept of the NFL, and it's wild how much it gets overlooked.
Last thing I'm going to say on this, and then we can move on to another questions of Hunter. Will Levis and Anthony Richardson are by far the two most interesting prospects that there will be in quite some time because they have elite tools. They have not elite, but they have great tools. It's just landing spot.
I'm big on A-Rich if he can get in the right landing spot.
He's got awesome tools, and he's 6'3",
for the modern NFL. I mean, like
that's what you kind of want. I mean,
we've seen a lot of mobile quarterbacks get it done. So especially recently,
if Will Levis goes in the top 5, though, I think it is over.
It's cooked for sure. Well, I feel the same way about Bryce Young and CJ Stroud too. To be honest,
I'm really iffy about Young.
Him to the Texans.
I don't
like,
really
kind of really reminds me of
literally
confident in Young.
I'm not.
He can't see over the line.
It don't matter.
I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, the Hall of Famer, check Tua, check Kyler.
They're both good quarterbacks. They both have production on the field, winning seasons, and have done good things.
Wait, who'd you say? Tua and who?
Tua and Kyler.
What about Drew?
I
said a Hall of Fame quarterback. Oh, that's crazy. There's one.
That's the thing is the Texans have one shot to make it work with Bryce Young because if they have the one shot,
right?
They need to get the right coach next year.
And you're saying you're confident in Young? He's probably going to go to Houston. Actually, no.
You know what?
No, he probably
Houston
won't.
Bill O'Brien, the O'Brien, the same offense he's running in Alabama, and they got Bryce Young. Yeah, he's running the same offense that he did in college with the same head coach.
No. You have
Magic.
Magic.
No. You heard it here first, Houston Texans fans.
Actually cheesing if that happens.
Bill O'Brien's coming back. Bryce Young is coming with them, and you're going to the Super Bowl.
Stop. Oh my God, that needs to be clipped because Alabama fans and almost anyone who watches college football know that Bill O'Brien is garbage.
No, he did decent. He ran a decent offense for Watson.
Clip that and just put it out for the world to see.
Oh, no, that's fine.
It'll be
It's going to do great. It's going to do great numbers. It's going to do a fantastic numbers.
I'm going to be honest.
I'm saying
Connor knew exactly what he was doing.
No, when he said that. I'm saying I like it, but a lot of people will hate that because everyone hates Bill O'Brien.
That's what we need for content.
That's perfect.
They hated at Bama.
That's perfect. We need more.
No, I know. I'm saying I like it, but I'm just saying. It'll be interesting to see because I'm 90% sure 90% of Alabama hates him.
And Texans fans.
Yeah.
All right, let's end it with this. Why do the Niners have to stick with Trey Lance next year?
They don't.
They do.
What? But Zach Wilson's gone immediately?
It's different.
Trey Lance has played in a half of football except for his rookie year.
I'm going to tell you exactly.
But that's not good, though. I know it's not his fault that he's
sitting behind Jimmy G and then broke his ankle.
But like year 3, he's gonna have to get an option on him, and very soon.
That's why they.
And you're throwing him into the. I know, but they don't have a time to play him. They're
next year.
Is the roster getting younger?
No, but they'll still be good.
Are they going to start paying more guys?
They committed to it this year too.
He's still going to be in a rookie deal. So
they committed to it, and then they saw what has been.
He broke his ankle.
I'm just saying.
Afterwards, you're saying?
Yes, I'm saying afterwards. Like you saw what it is. Like
I honestly think
end of the stick.
The only thing that comes from that is I think Jimmy G actually gets a pretty good deal next year from another team. if I'm being honest.
Do they let him out of San Francisco?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
You have to.
He would have been gone already if they could have found a good trade partner.
Right.
Just saying.
And it's not even so much because I'm not saying this to defend Trey Lance and his play, and I think he's going to be good. It's because of how much they invested in him already. They have to know what they have in him, and they will never know that unless they play him.
But that's the thing though. Like you play him and he doesn't do well, and then it's
You
like
don't
the
know
team.
that.
But what if he does
And
do
the
well?
team looks at it like, bro, the defense. You tell me if he comes out and doesn't do great things.
Why would he not?
Listen,
Why would he not?
because he has less than 1,000 snaps at quarterback in his life.
Yeah, but
And,
he's
you're,
better
and you're asking him to come into the NFL and just start lighting shit up. Not
You're asking
happening.
Brock Purdy to do that, and he can do it.
Brock Purdy played for 4 years at Iowa State and built that program basically
That's-
by himself.
Okay.
Stop.
But
Stop.
they are not the same situation.
But you guys are missing the point to that exact
It's a
comment.
worse
You guys are
situation
missing
for
the
Lance.
point to that exact comment. Trey Lance needs to play to see if he's going to be good or not because of the lack of snaps. The reason why Brock Purdy was able to step in and actually do really well is because he has 4 years of experience. Trey Lance doesn't have that, so they need to play him to figure out what he's going to get.
It's time. It's time because they have no time.
This for a sec because I'm going to say this is my thing is if they go into the offseason this year, they spend the whole because the camp is going to. This is how I look at it. If I am John Lynch, I'm looking at it like this. Kyle, you have the whole offseason. Tell me who's the better quarterback, right? There's no two ways about it. You look at them as if they were drafted the same fucking round. Tell me who's the better quarterback. If Brock's the guy and Trey's not, I'm saying, dude, just look at Brock as our first round pick last year. Look at Trey as our 2 years ago, and look at Brock's the 7th this year. Because here's the reality situation. Like I said, they're both on rookie contracts regardless. If Brock's playing better, I'm starting him. Something happens to him, cool, I got Trey. But the reality is, like to Tyler's point, I'm big on the fact that the Niners are very much in like win now mode now. I don't think there's no like, well, we'll just kind of like fuck around for 2 years and like if Trey's good, like we'll just build around him. But if not, like there's like it's just like everyone's gonna be like Nick Bosa's gonna have to get the bag. Like Dre Greenlaw, bag him up. Like all you guys are gonna need bags. Like it's gonna be a different team by like so I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time I think it's very much like that's the thing with Jimmy getting hurt that sucks.
They
for
don't
them
look
is
at
that,
it like that.
Jimmy
though.
was the guy where you look at him, you're like, yeah, he
I
can for
bet
sure
you they
lead us to at
do.
least the
They
NFC
have to.
Okay.
No NFL team looks at it like that.
If they're in win now mode, yes, they look at that.
You keep saying win now mode. You keep saying win now mode. Why does Trey Lance make it not win now mode? Now mode. That offense is pretty damn simple when you've got CMC, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, and Deebo Samuel. It's pretty damn simple. I'm pretty sure if Brock Purdy can come in and do it very well, Trey Lance can come in and do it very well. He can win games. And not only that, his legs are going to be such a factor for that offense. They went out and got him because of that added element that they have never had yet. You add that element and they're only going to be better. It's not win now mode, see if Trey Lance is good. He doesn't have to be that good. We said this before. He doesn't have to be amazing. He could be pretty mediocre and they'd still win 10 games.
It's the perception of the team that I think is way different. I've never seen like them come out and like grip Trey Lance like that. But when Jimmy G came back in, you could tell there was life in that locker room. And now with
It's because
Brock,
he led them to a win like that
and
the
they're
first
saying,
6 years back.
no, bro, they've had the continuity with Jimmy G. And
Well,
they're
yeah, because he was there for 3 years. You expect them not to have continuity?
And they're talking about with Brock, big balls and shit. Like George Kittle was like, yeah, this guy's got massive balls of steel.
I agree with that.
Fred Warner, that kid's got the it factor. Troy Williams, oh, this guy's it. Oh, that's it. I've never seen them say that about Trey Lance.
Because he's never. I agree. No, but okay, so you guys aren't looking at it. And Dobbs, to your point too, when he said just flip the picks and have Brock Purdy drafted in the first and then Trey Lance drafted in the 7th, no NFL team will do that. It's just the reality. Like they live and die by their decisions, and that might be the downfall to John Lynch, like we've discussed plenty of times before. I cannot see.
The Patriots did it. The Patriots did it without fucking hesitating. And look at how the 15 years went.
I agree.
More teams should do it.
I agree.
That's so different.
No team does.
That's so different, though.
But
that was the NFL 20 years ago.
But to Dylan's point, no one fucking does it. And here's the thing. Let's say that Brock Purdy is the guy right now, and you make him sit for 2 years, and then you're like, well, Brock, we decided you're the guy. But those 2 years you could have been developing, we just fucking threw you on the bench, and we totally halted your development. Like, so I agree with you guys. Don't get me wrong. I completely agree that Brock is probably not to trade the guy. Mm-hmm. But if you look at him all off season and he is objectively the guy and Trey's not. To Tyler's point, I don't think you can fuck over the team and be like, well, we invested so much in him and we want him to be the good one. So you guys are just going to not be good this year because he's the guy we invested in. So we want to win with him. Like, I don't think to Tyler's point that goes over well in the locker room.
To Connor's point though, too, it's like we don't know that they're objectively going to be bad.
They could be better.
That's why I said I probably am wrong.
They don't have the time.
Dude, they don't need much.
They don't have the time for Trey to be a Super Bowl winner within a year,
He doesn't need to be amazing. Is Jimmy G amazing?
No.
Trey Lance doesn't have to be amazing. He doesn't.
Do you not understand? This guy, I'm not kidding you, has played less than 1,000 snaps of football.
That's why he needs to play.
He's had 2 years. He's had 2 years to sit next to Kyle Shanahan and learn how to run a freaking offense. I'm sure as hell he can do it. I'm so confident that Trey Lance can do it.
My brain is actually hurting. Like, bro,
can I
this guy doesn't play quarterback. He hasn't played quarterback his whole life.
So then why don't you give him the opportunity to do so?
Yeah, why just throw him away?
The team. It is the team.
You ain't in the locker room. Don't tell me that.
Bro,
exactly. He doesn't know. It's all speculation.
I think you're just quick to write off Trey because you don't think he's good, and that's fair. He hasn't looked good in the games that he's played and stuff. But to your point too, he's played 1,000 snaps in his life. He's played 2 games his rookie year, and he played a half in his first year as what would have been a starter. Why do you write him off?
No, we got them. I just thought we got him. We got him. Because it's the reality. We already did this with someone this year who has just as much potential. Zach Wilson's not the guy. We objectively said Zach's not the fucking guy, and they have someone who's playing better.
He's had 2
You've
years.
given Zach Wilson 17 games to play. Trey Lance has 0.
He's literally.
Those are not the same situations. They're not the same situations.
Because the kid still's not developing.
It is very.
They're not the same situation.
It's not a Trey.
Not at all.
Is Trey developing right now? No.
Because he broke his ankle.
Yes. That sucks. That really does suck that he broke his ankle, but he's not learning right now.
So you're telling me, no,
what are we doing here, bro? They do not have the time for this, bro.
No. They were willing to take the time this year. What changes next year?
Yeah, what changed?
Oh, maybe just a broken ankle?
No,
that's weird. A crazy injury.
Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were ready to trade off Jimmy G. They weren't able to trade him, so they brought him back, and they were ready to start Trey Lance almost this entire year, barring he really played that badly. And then they were going to put Jimmy in. Why does that change next year?
Let me drop hypothetical. If they go to the NFC Championship with Brock Purdy, lose a close game, go to the Super Bowl and lose. There's just not a chance that you can tell me from a Niners fan that that's the right decision.
Hear me out.
Fuck yourself. Literally, I'd be like, we're doing the same thing again.
Okay, but listen, you guys are missing out on another key fact here. Why did they go and get Trey Lance? To open up the offense more and maybe be that difference maker. They went to the Super Bowl with Jimmy G. What the fuck does Brock Purdy change there? If they get there, he's the equivalent of Jimmy G. They need a quarterback, and they won't know that they have that guy unless they play Trey Lance. And Brock Purdy, I think is. Barring he played really well.
I'm just going to say it because I've never said it, but it's true. Here's the reality, I think, actually. I'm going to say what Chris Collinsworth said recently. I think the reality situation is actually, someone else, I don't even know if it was Chris, it was someone who was on the broadcast, though. He was like, I think the reality is Jimmy G low-key just gets shitted on for he's not amazing or anything. When it matters, Jimmy G plays good. That's a big difference. A lot of quarterbacks play good when it doesn't matter. Jimmy G played good when it matters pretty consistently. He didn't win, but going against my point is he played good. So that's just where I stand at. It's easy to be well, if the Niners had, but are those guys gonna play good when it matters?
Can I say something?
That's what it comes down to.
Can I say something also?
Hey,
how bad was Josh Allen his first year? He wasn't good.
Atrocious. I was literally
so why are we not going to give Trey Lance a year to see that?
It's going to be 3 years.
60% chance I'm wrong.
But it's not even a full year of gameplay.
I understand, but it's wasting 3 years on this kid already. They don't have.
They haven't wasted any years on it because he hasn't played.
They have to pay him if they want him to be the guy, and I bet you they don't pay him regardless of what he does.
They won't know unless they play him.
Dylan, there's other quarterbacks.
Right or we're getting 100% wrong.
So
there's no between.
Why are you so quick to write off Trey Lance? Listen to me. When several NFL quarterbacks have had to prove that they need more than 3 games to be good in the NFL.
Listen.
Why is that? Why is Trey Lance just getting kicked to the curb?
You've never heard anything of Trey Lance being spectacular. There's that one clip of him throwing a crazy ball in camp. And I'm going off of those things because that's all we could go off right now. And I've heard nothing remotely close to him being elite. I heard Brock Purdy was doing well in camp over that guy that you're talking about. Enough. What is going on? They don't have the time to waste for this kid to
You didn't answer my question.
But here's a hypothetical. Hey, Trey Lance, big game coming up against the Bills, let's say. Hey, it's your 5th game of your career. Hey, go win it. And guess what? Those are the teams that he's going to need to beat. Like he's
going to have more than 3 starts in that game.
Guess what? He'll have CMC, George Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk to help him. He ain't got to put the whole team on his back.
What if Josh Allen got kicked to the curb for someone else after his first year? What if Drew Brees never went to the Saints and got another chance? You don't know unless you give these guys a fair chance to play.
I'm prefacing like we're on the probable losing side. Like I'd say it's like a 40-60 chance. But we're just simply presenting that the truth is though that what we're saying, if we're right, people are going to say in like 2 or 3 years. So we're just laying out the potential, like what Niners fans are going to go back and say you know what I'm saying? Like I agree that Trey is more likely the guy than Brock. I mean, because the pedigree speaks for itself. But it's just the chance of if this is a reality, and it's like that's more than anything. Is it is there's a chance.
Connor, I'm so sorry. Kyler Murray, I think, is out for the game.
Yeah.
Hold the fuck up.
Yeah. Yo, hold the fuck up.
All right, we can end too, though.
Yeah, sorry.
Hold the fuck up.
We got gassed up for the Niners.
That shit just
got
me riled up. Yeah, he just got hurt, I think.
It says non-contact does not look good. All right, thanks for watching, guys.
Pre-game, like warm-up?
No. They already started playing.